Good afternoon, folks. Welcome to your Rangers News Bulletin this Wednesday, the 4th of June. I hope you're all well, whatever you are up to. Lots of Rangers news stories doing the rounds. Of course, everyone on tenterhooks at the moment with regards to the managerial search, with social media going into overdrive yesterday at the prospect of Russell Martin becoming the new head coach. That followed reports that Rangers were said to be closing in on the former Southampton boss. Now, we had Chris on the show this morning, and he confirmed basically what we put out on the website yesterday, late afternoon, early evening, that Rangers had yet to offer the role of head coach to any prospective appointee. However, sources have expressed a belief that Russell Martin is the likelier candidate at present to succeed Philip Clement at Ibrox. Sources, though, close to Davide Ancelotti's camp also stress the Italian has not been told he's out of the running for the job. Further talks have been planned with his camp this week as well. So Rangers say the process is ongoing. That's the current state of play at this moment in time. And it's fair to say, as I touched on there, social media was like a circus yesterday when the idea of Russell Martin taking over emerged. How do you feel about it, folks? It's fair to say it has divided opinion amongst the fan base. Dismissed from Southampton back in December after a pretty disastrous time in the Premier League. He did get the Saints up to the top flight the season before last via the playoffs, beating Leeds in the final. If you haven't watched the interview with Alfie House, the Southampton journalist that we did yesterday, then I'd urge you to go and check it out. He talks about Martin and about his time at St Mary's, how he got on. So do go and check that out. Now, a number of people have been having their say on the prospect of Martin taking over. Ali McCoist on Talk Sport this morning was quizzed on it and the potential of Martin arriving at Ibrox. He says it's imperative it gets done ASAP. However, it was never ever going to get done before the sale of the club and the new owners came in. He said Martin came up for a while, but that's a term that was used. Underwhelming, but you've got to give him a chance. So that is what Ali had to say on Russell Martin. Martin's ex-teammate, Stephen Naismith, who I know is not widely well thought of amongst the Ibrox fan base, but he was an ex-teammate of Martin at Norwich City for a number of seasons. And speaking to Sky outside Ibrox earlier, Naismith said, from every name linked with the job, I think he probably ticks the most boxes for what's required at the moment. The most common thing I would imagine everybody has heard is the leadership aspect. That was very clear from the first time I played with him. He's a leader. I know he's spoken about his people skills and things like that. He knows how to get the best out of players and staff. Behind the scenes at Norwich, he was a big part of what their success was at the club. On top of that, his knowledge and intelligence of the game is very good. He's had real belief. He's a brilliant communicator. I think that's been the clearest thing at each club very quickly. That style, you can identify that. You can see it. I think a few of the fans at Rangers will remember him as a player, and that's probably not the best image of him, because as a coach, he's the opposite of what he was as a player. As a coach, he's a forward-thinking coach, and that for me is the biggest benefit. Russell is a strong character. He never hides. He never backs away from a challenge. So that is what Stephen Naismith, as you can see on your screen, ex-teammates, not only of Norwich, but also of Scotland as well. So, as we say on every show, folks, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. If anything breaks, any developments with regards to that managerial situation, you'll be the first to know here on the Rangers Review. Moving on elsewhere, and was a topic we touched on the show this morning as well, in the transfer situation, players heading out the club. The forgotten man, Jose Suentes, who has spent time on loan at Aris Thessaloniki. And according to reports in Greece, Aris have been handed an extension by Rangers to try and reach an agreement to sign the Ecuadorian midfielder. He made 29 league appearances for the club last season, helped them qualify for Europe. Now, they had until the end of May initially to turn the loan move into a permanent one, with a £3 million fee as part of the original loan deal. However, they did indicate to Rangers that they want to renegotiate a deal to get Rangers to lower their demands to Suentes to £2 million. Reports in Greece now state that Rangers have given Aris until June the 15th to reach an agreement exclusively with them, or then the deal is off. So that is a current state of play with regards to Jose Suentes. As we touched on the show this morning, I would be amazed if we've seen him in a Rangers jersey again. I think he'll be heading out the door, but I think it's important Rangers do get their money back. And then some for Jose Suentes. I think they paid just 1.2 million quid, there or thereabouts, to LAFC for his services when Michael Beale was in charge, but it never quite worked for him in Glasgow, not on the pitch and off it. He was having a few issues as well. So he will be heading off. Let's just hope Rangers gets but top dollar for him. Another player who I very much doubt we'll see in the Rangers jersey again, Vaslav Churnney, and he's also been speaking about what his future may entail. He headed back to Wolfsburg after his loan spell at Ibrox. The 27-year-old says, "I still have no idea where I'll be playing next season. The only thing I know is that I'm returning to Wolfsburg because the loan was without an option. I have a contract there for 2 more years. There will be time for a club future after the national team." And he continued, "I'm a regular player at Wolfsburg. The club does not have a coach yet. Of course, I have some preliminary agreements, or I know what is planned for me. I would like to get the most out of a successful season." Now, reflecting on his time at Rangers, he was very complimentary. He says, "I managed to play a lot of games, almost 60 in one season, which is wonderful. I had a wonderful relationship with the fans. I think I gave them a lot of nice experiences, just like they gave me. I'm just sorry I couldn't win anything with Rangers, but I will have very nice memories. They have a magical stadium, memories for my entire career and my entire life," as I wrote on my social networks. "I hope I managed to bring them what has always been my thing. A lot of the goals and assists were at our home stadium. I'm really happy that everything turned out like this. It was nice to say goodbye." So that is Vaslav Churnney, who was speaking whilst on international duty with the Czech Republic. So as we touched on the show this morning as well, that according to reports in Turkey, Besiktas and Trabzonspor said to have made contact with Wolfsburg about a potential £9 million move for Churnney, which is an awful lot of money, that's for sure. But yeah, he looks to be heading out of Wolfsburg, you'd imagine, unless they bring another coach in there and he fancies Vaslav. But I'm sure we all wish him well in his future career. Right, that'll do us there. As I mentioned earlier, if there's anything breaking, folks, and then we'll be on the YouTube channel and the likes to update you. But yeah, as it stands, Rangers still, that process is still ongoing with regards to Rangers trying to identify a new head coach. Enjoy your Wednesday, whatever you are doing. We're back on tomorrow morning, Thursday, 9:30 as ever. Yeah, until then have a lovely afternoon / evening, and we'll speak to you later on. Bye for now.